Hi everyone, it's Chrissie. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a really fun and exciting video. So I do just want to say a huge thank you to the EA Creator Network for making this video possible. I'm not paid by them, I'm not sponsored to make this video. They just gave me access to this pack quite a bit earlier than normal, so it is a little bit different from normal early access because this version of the game only has the base game and the new pack in it. So you will also see my EA Creator ID floating around the screen as well throughout all of these videos. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I'm not paid to make these videos. I simply got sent the pack a little bit early. So with all of that said, let's jump on into the video. Hey everyone, so yes, we're back in Chestnut Ridge yet again. Because yeah, I have been building in this world a lot and I probably won't be stopping anytime soon either. But this is actually the last build that I did back when I had early access. So that is why you will still see my gallery or EA ID floating around the screen. This is going to be the last video that will have that for this pack. Anything after this is like new stuff that I have been working on with the pack in my regular game. So yeah, hopefully it's not too distracting, but you guys haven't said anything about it like in any of my previous videos, so hopefully it hasn't been super distracting. But yeah, so like I said, this is the last build that I did with my early access back when I had it, and I wanted to do something a little bit different from all of the other builds that I've done. So I actually decided to do a little more bit of like a modern residential. So I did obviously do that winery build that I posted a couple of days ago. That was also a little bit more on the modern contemporary side. But obviously that was a community lot, and this is actually the only more modern residential build that I did when I had early access. I have done another one since this, but you guys haven't seen that one yet because it's still coming up at some point, probably tomorrow. By the time you're seeing this video, that one will probably be up tomorrow. But either way, this is kind of like the first go that I had with the pack at doing something a little bit more modern. So because this was still recorded with early access, it's only the base game and the horse ranch pack, because yeah, obviously when we had that version of the game, it was only base game and the pack. So yeah, this is actually really nice for those of you guys who maybe don't have all of the other packs, or you know, something like that. Then you can still easily download this build if you end up getting the new pack. So yeah, I don't know, I really like doing that. I actually really like the fact that I managed to get so many builds done with that early access period. I honestly didn't think I was going to be able to, but I managed to get like what was it, like 6 builds or something done. Yeah, I got that big ranch, the training grounds, the starter that you guys will have seen probably like 2 days ago or something like that by now. I did this build, I did the winery, and was there another build? I could have sworn there was another build in there somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I did like 5 builds, I don't know. At this point, honestly, all of them are kind of just blending together a little bit. I might have done 6 builds, I might have done 5, I have no idea. But yeah, so I did quite a few, basically, is my point, where I only used the new pack and the base game. So there are a few of them up on my gallery by now. If you guys want to go ahead and download any of them, my gallery ID is always in the description. It's literally the name that's floating around on the screen right now, just like ChrissieYT. It's the same as my Twitter handle, my Threads handle, like Facebook, Pinterest, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's really easy to find, but it's always listed in the description for you guys. And I will also have a download link in the description as well to the gallery website. Now, I have had a couple of people tell me that they're having trouble with like downloading my builds from the gallery, and from what I've been able to see, that's been a gallery issue. Like, it's not on my end. Like, I can see my stuff, I can see that they're uploaded, and you know, everything's fine. But the gallery has been so buggy lately, even for me with like other stuff as well. It's been so buggy since the latest patch, since the patch that we got just before Horse Ranch came out. And like, it's just, there's been so many bugs. I mean, the gallery is usually pretty like, yikes a lot of the time, but recently it's just been so bad. And I've seen people talk about how they've been having crashes with the gallery, how the gallery's been crashing their game a lot more often. Luckily that hasn't happened to me yet at all. Like, I haven't had any crashes with my game, but my game luckily tends to not crash like at all. I mean, since I've been playing The Sims 4, my game has crashed maybe like 10 times. And I've played the game since it's come out in 2014. So yeah, my game very rarely crashes, but I've also been noticing a lot of issues with the gallery. So if you have any issues with the gallery, then I do apologize. If you have any issues with like following the download link to the website or in game itself, then I'm really sorry, but honestly it's just like, it's on EA's end basically. It's on the gallery side. Hopefully they'll be able to address it really quickly, because I know there are a couple of other things as well with the gallery that they kind of disabled, like being able to see how many followers you have, how many downloads you've had. Like the news tab as well is totally gone. I know they took that out. I can't remember if they said that was just a temporary thing or what, but I really hope it is, because that was such a useful feature. So yeah, hopefully they will actually get back to working on the gallery fairly soon and those issues will go away. But if you guys want to like get the builds in your game like immediately and you're having issues with the gallery, then I do have the tray files for this build and all of the other builds that I've done as well up for channel members. Right now, as you're watching this, they're up for channel members on the community tab. You do need to join at like the second tier of channel membership. So I have like 3 different tiers set up. The second one, the shooting star one, and the crescent moon one, I believe. Like basically the second and third tiers are the ones that get access to my tray files early, but in 3 weeks they will be going up on Tumblr for everyone to download. I always make my tray files and all of that stuff public like after 3 weeks. They always go up on Tumblr, and I do have my Tumblr linked in the description as usual as well. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. But those are all of the kind of like, I guess, housekeeping type things that I wanted to mention. So talking a little bit more about this build itself, as you can clearly see, it is a house for a family that has a horse, because obviously I think all of the builds that I've done, bar like maybe the winery, have all been, actually the starter also wasn't like horse themed, but most of my builds that I've done have actually been very horse oriented. And that's just because they're new and I really like them, and I really like the items for them as well. Like, I really find them very nice. I'm definitely a horse girl at heart. I grew up riding horses and all of that stuff. So like, I love them. I love also the novelty of them, because yes, they're still new. So playing with them and building stuff for them has been really fun. So yeah, this is another build for a family with a horse, but obviously it's a little bit smaller. So this lot is only a 30 by 20, and originally it was called the Champions Grove, which was built by Dr. Ashley, actually, the like original lot. But yeah, I'm building this in the new Appaloosa area, so this is kind of like the town area, which is why I felt like maybe having this very modern, like clearly very, like either very heavily renovated or completely new build, like modern lot, was actually kind of cool. So we have this very modern, almost barn dominium kind of style, if you guys have ever heard of that style. If you haven't, definitely go ahead and look it up, because there are some really awesome builds. If you just type in barn dominium on Google and look at the pictures, there's some really good like inspiration pictures and stuff like that up there. But the kind of like, also a little bit of the inspiration for this build actually came from watching one of Devin Bumpkin's builds that I don't know, I can't remember if I watched it on the day that I did this build or not, because obviously I did this build like a few weeks ago at this point. But I know Devin or Aiden did this like kind of like doggy daycare build that I will leave linked in the description, by the way, in case you guys want to go ahead and check that out. but he did this really cool like doggy daycare build in Brindleton Bay, but his build was obviously a community lot, and it ended up being, I believe, red and I think also black, or maybe like red and like this beige color. I can't remember exactly at this point, but like I said, I will leave the video link down below. Obviously my build is very different. It's, for one, it's a residential lot. The colors are all different and like all of that stuff, but I don't know, the style of the build made me really want to build something in that style, so that's what I went ahead and did. And yeah, this was also the first build that I did that was a little bit more modern, or that was supposed to look a little bit more modern. So I really had a good look through all of the build items, and it kind of gave me the opportunity to kind of experiment a little bit more and see which of the items can work in a more modern setting or like contemporary setting. Now, the interior of this house is fairly contemporary. I would say it's very black. There's like the majority of the interior for this house is very black. There's a lot of dark colors, but I do incorporate quite a few pops of orange, because I went for the outside, obviously I went for that like half orange, half black. So I wanted to bring that orange color into the interior as much as I could without obviously making it too bright. So I tried to bring it in with like stuff, you know, like the plant, like the pot colors for the plants, or the rugs, or maybe some artwork, or you know, stuff like that. Very small touches, especially in the living space and in the kitchen. There isn't a lot of orange. I think I only used a couple of like orange planter pots or stuff like that. That's orange, but in the bedrooms, it's definitely a lot more pronounced. But yeah, I really like the way this build turned out. In the end of the day, I actually ended up going for a little bit more of a, I guess you could say, like industrial style for the interior, especially in this living space, because I tried a couple of the other counters. The counters that came with the pack just would not work in a more modern setting. I really didn't like the way it looked. It just honestly did not fit for me. So even though I did try them out, but I actually ended up going with those like industrial counters from the base game. And I did try a couple of other base game counters, but again, I couldn't make them work and look the way that I wanted it to. So I did end up bringing in quite a bit of like industrial vibe, I guess you could say, with all of the iron lamps, especially like the hanging lamps. I also used those iron, like, I guess, wall sconces that I never use from the base game. And then I brought in obviously a lot of black wood, a lot of really dark colors as well. And I don't know, I loved the combination of all of the wooden items combined with all of these like really like almost rough looking metals, which I don't know, I love the way that turned out. I absolutely love the fact that these items are so versatile as well, because for a build like this, if you thought about the items on their own, like if you think, oh, ranch style, or oh, like country, you know, farm style items, you wouldn't necessarily think that they would work in something like this, like something that's very clearly very black, very contemporary, very like not what you would picture a typical farmhouse to look like, if that makes sense. And I just love the fact that they, you know, even though they are items more in that country style, if you put them in like the right swatches, you can definitely make them work as something a lot more contemporary. And I love that. I love that so much, especially if you do something in a color scheme like this where it's quite dark and you go with either like the black wood swatches or this dark wood swatch as well. It kind of looks like it's supposed to be this very rough, almost unfinished wood texture, along with all of like the black and the metal and stuff. And I love the way it turned out. Like, I really, really do. This is probably one of my favorite builds that I did with early access, and probably one of my favorite builds that I've done in quite a while, just like period. So yeah, I really like the way it turned out. I hope you guys will as well. But yeah, like I said, it's on a 30 by 20 lot. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom. So off of the living space, there's this really weird, like, I guess almost triangular shaped half bathroom that just has a toilet and a sink in it. And then we actually have, off of the hallway, we have this big main bathroom that we're working on right now, where there's a standalone shower, tub, double sinks, toilet, you know, all of that stuff that you would need. Then there's a main bedroom at the back of the house that has those really big, like, ranch windows that came with the pack. And then at the front of the house, we actually have another bedroom that I ended up turning into a teenager's room because, yeah, I don't know. There are a couple of, like, more kid-themed items. Like, obviously, we did get the dollhouse. We got a couple of really fun, like, you know, rugs and like rug swatches and bed swatches that have little goats and sheep on them and stuff like that. That's very like kid oriented. But for this build, I didn't want to use them because I did try at the beginning. I did try and use them, but they're all very bright and very colorful. And I don't know, for this build, I didn't like the look of having this entirely, like, almost entirely black house, especially on the interior, and then having this kid's bedroom that's like pink and purple and blue and green and like yellow and all of that stuff. It was too much for me. So usually I don't mind that when I build. I don't mind when, you know, the kid's bedroom or the toddler's bedroom or whatever like sticks out a little bit more from the rest of the house and it's a little bit more colorful, doesn't really fit the vibe, because realistically it's not going to. Like, most people, when they furnish their houses and they have kids, they don't make their kids' bedrooms like match the rest of the house, like at least not that I've ever seen. But for this one, I really wanted it to, so I decided to make it for a teenager because, yeah, I don't know, I felt a little bit better about having like a very dark bedroom, a lot of like dark walls and, you know, a black bed and like black wooden furniture. I felt a little bit better about that if I thought that it would be for a teenager rather than a kid because, yeah, I don't know. Personally, when I was a kid, I had mostly black stuff as well. Like, I can't remember the last time I had a colorful like bedspread or anything, or rug or anything like that in my room. Not even when I was like 10, 11, 12. I still had like very dark stuff. I used to have black bedding when I was like 12 years old. So I don't know, that's just me though. Most kids aren't like that. But I also figured that there are quite a few like hobby items that I could put in for a teenager. So I figured maybe the teenager that lives here, they're really into music, so they have a couple of guitars. They're also, I figured, would be really into photography as well. So I gave them 2 separate cameras on their like desk. I also gave them a laptop because, you know, I figured why not. I figured that the Sims living here would be quite well off, so they wouldn't be like strapped for cash or anything like that. And they have more than enough money, so their teenager has their own computer. And then I just furnished it with obviously a lot of black furniture, but this room is probably the one where I added the most pops of color. So I added this almost salmony reddish color for that chair, and then like the other like just living chair that I have, and then I have this rug that's kind of like pink and orange and beige colored, which I absolutely love. That's probably my favorite rug swatch from the pack. And yeah, so I definitely went a little bit like heavier with the pops of red and orange in this bedroom compared to the rest of the house. But I really like the way this house turned out. You guys will have to let me know what you think about it as well. And yeah, moving on to the outside though, I do want to talk about that really quickly, because obviously there wasn't a lot of yard space once I was done with the main house itself. But I do have a little, like, in my head, you know, maybe it used to be a garage, but they've converted it into a stables for their horse. So they do have a little horse stables that has a little, like, stall for the horse. There's obviously the water trough, the feeding, like the hay feeder, you know, all of that stuff that you would need to take care of your horse. I also add in a little horse ball right at the front. And I did playtest all of this as well. I did playtest this lot with a horse on the lot, so it all works. I made sure of that. And, you know, the horse can get everywhere that they need to. They can get in their stall. They can access their feeder, the water, all of that stuff. So, yeah, I did make sure all of that works. And then in this little, like, I guess almost undercover patio area between the house and the stables, I have a little grill set up. I also end up adding in a small little dining table with a couple of chairs. And then at the back, We have that fire pit, which I've probably been adding to like every single build that I do, just because I love that item. And I also love the interactions that your Sims can do with it. It's just a nice, like, I guess, group activity for Sims to just sit and bond over. So yeah, I think I've been adding it to like every build that I've been doing. And then I also add in a couple of planter pots in that weird like grassy space right there. And then the other grassy like lawn bit at the back, I just do a little bit of landscaping, and I tried not to go too overboard with the landscaping. I try to keep it mostly just like green, various shades of green, kind of leaning more into the whole like, I guess, more contemporary vibe. I didn't want to go too over the top with flowers. I add a couple of these like orange lavender bushes that I also have on the front and the back porches, kind of as like decorative flower box type things, but that is going to be basically it. And yeah, I love these. I love these little like rock borders that we got in the debug menu. We have them in that like rounded version, and then we have a straight version of as well. And I love using those as kind of like borders for flower beds and stuff. That's so cool. But yeah, I'll probably be doing that in a lot of builds as well. But yeah, with all of that said, we're actually going to be going into a live tour at the end to show you guys the build in a little bit more detail. But I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more Sims content, turn on the notification bell as well, and I will talk to you guys all in my very next video. But first off, we're going to go ahead and head into the tour. Okay, so here we are with the completed build, our little like contemporary, I guess, ranch style or farmhouse style build. I don't know what you would call it. But yeah, I really like the way this build turned out, and like I said, I did kind of take inspiration from one of Devin Bumpkin's latest videos, which again I will leave linked in the description. But yeah, so we have our little like two bedroom little like modern farmhouse, modern contemporary. I don't know if you would call it a farmhouse or not, but yeah, it's a modern something. But yeah, here it is with the grid on, in case you guys wanted to see that. But when you come into the house, you have obviously, you know, our little like platform, like entryway with the big light that I have hanging down. We have our very modern and very like dark kind of like interior, especially the living room space is very dark. I wanted to use a lot of black, and yeah, like I said in the voiceover, it's something that I don't usually do, so I don't use this much like black on black when I decorate. But I really like the way this turned out. I love the combination of these like almost older, more traditional country leather couches with all of the like black colors and like the big TV and all of the like metal accents everywhere as well. I love the way it turned out. We have obviously our little like dining room space, and then we have our big kitchen, which I don't know, like I said in the like you saw in the speed build, and I probably said in the voiceover, I struggled so much with this kitchen, like trying to figure out the color for the counters especially. So yeah, it took me forever, but I really like the way it turned out. And then we just have a little like half bathroom off of the living room as well, just like a little guest toilet, and obviously the like fridge is a little bit more hidden away as well. And then this door obviously leads us into the backyard, but we also have this little like, I wanted to play around with platforms in this. So we have our little like desk nook over here on this like tiny little bit raised of a like little, like, what would you call it, like a hallway almost. But yeah, we have that, and then that obviously leads us into the main bedroom with one of the big skylights. So yeah, we have the little main bedroom. Imagine waking up in bed with like that view outside. That would just be so nice. But yeah, we have obviously the main bedroom, the bed, you know, little closet space as well, which I actually really like the way that turned out, especially considering I only had the new pack and the base game. I love the way that little like almost built-in closet turned out. We also have obviously the like main bathroom, like the big bathroom. So we have shower, tub, you know, all of that stuff that you would normally need. Definitely very modern, very like black and white, contemporary. but I did want to like include a little bit of those like pops of orange throughout the whole house. So you'll see it mostly with like the rugs and, you know, a couple of like the artwork pieces and stuff like that. And then the last bedroom, I was considering doing this for a kid, but I didn't feel like the very black and white color scheme worked for a child. I felt like it was kind of, you know, a little bit weird for a child or like an infant or something. So I decided to just make it for like a teenager, because I really wanted to keep the bedrooms with the color scheme of the rest of the house. So yeah, we have the teenager's room that is a little bit more colorful than the rest of the place, obviously with the rug and like the chairs and posters and stuff, but it's still very much like fits with the vibe of the rest of the house. Then we have obviously the backyard as well. I put in a couple of planters. And did the game delete my terrain paint? No, it didn't. It just, I don't know, it just looks weird. But yeah, so we have obviously a little like planter space. So if they wanted to maybe like plant some grapes for nectar making or something, you could easily put a nectar maker like somewhere in the house or like somewhere in the yard if you wanted to. But yeah, you have a couple of planter boxes. Obviously we have a little fire pit, just some open green space that, like I said, you could do something with. You could put in maybe monkey bars if you have a kid, or a swing set if you have one of the packs that come with a swing set, or, you know, anything like that. But we also have a little grill area underneath this like overhang that I have. So I did raise up this light to make it look like it's actually connected to the ceiling, even though the ceiling is technically open. So I really like that. So if you have seasons, then that still will be undercover, so like protected from the elements and everything. Same with obviously, you know, this back porch bit, where I don't know if I showed this in the video, but I do have a little like skylight space over there for that window. And then obviously we have the big skylights in the roof. And I did the same out here in the front, where I have another of those triangular windows. I cut out a piece of the ceiling to like make sure that the light can actually come through. But yeah, so going back to the backyard, we have obviously a little like dining space. I tried to put it off to the side so that obviously, you know, horses and stuff can still move through here and it won't like obstruct anything. But we also have outside the little water trough for the horse, because obviously I did build this, you know, to have space for a horse. So in this little like outdoor like outhouse, you know, I guess it's not really a stable. Would it be a stable? I don't think it wouldn't be a barn. It might be like just a stable, or maybe it's like a converted garage or something. But yeah, we have a little horse ball in the front. That sounded so weird. We have a little horse ball. My accent makes that sound so weird. But yeah, and then coming inside, we have a little space, you know, obviously to take off their saddles and all of that stuff. I stacked a couple of hay bales. We have a little sink out here as well to, I don't know, maybe wash off some things, and then just some storage stuff that I figured, you know, would hold like extra tack or, you know, anything like that that you could need, like brushes and stuff like that. And then we have the little like stall area, like the proper stable stall space for the horse, that also has a little skylight. So I don't know, I figured that would be nice, why not? But yeah, that is basically the whole build, you guys. Now I really like the way this build turned out. It's very different from the other builds that I've done so far with this pack. I don't know obviously in which order I'm posting these videos in, but I have done 5 builds with this pack, or like not with this pack, but with this like early access version that has my name like floating around the screen. And then also obviously I have also done like the 3 official builds that I have for this pack that will actually ship with the pack itself. So yeah, that is a whole different thing. But yeah, I don't know in which order I'm posting these videos in, but basically this build is very different from any of the other builds that I've done so far. And I love the way it turned out. I loved being able to build something in this style that is so different from what you would maybe normally think of when you think about like a ranch house or a like western, you know, maybe like farmhouse or log cabin or whatever. And I loved finding out that these items like will actually work for a style like this as well. So yeah, that was really, really cool, and I can't wait to get this pack in my actual game, like regular game, to be able to do more builds with it. So yeah, if you guys have any like I don't know, not suggestions, but like ideas for stuff that you would like to see, definitely let me know down in the comments below. Yeah, you guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. And if you want to download this build, I don't know if it will be up on the gallery yet. Obviously, it's not up on the gallery at the time I'm recording this, but hopefully by the time you guys are seeing it, I will have been able to get it in my normal game and get access to the gallery so that I can upload it for you guys. So yeah, I will obviously update the description as well with a download link. Once, you know, it is up on the gallery, I'll update the description, add a download link. My gallery ID and all of that stuff is always in the description if you want to just search for me on the gallery, as well as all of my other social media links. So yeah, follow me over on Twitter, Threads, you know, join our Discord as well. I also have channel memberships set up where you get early access to all of the tray files for my builds, and I just rotated the camera, but I'll give you guys a nice little like pan overview, I guess, of the new Appaloosa neighborhood. But yes, I do have channel memberships set up where you guys can get early access to my tray files. You also get like sneak peeks at behind the scenes stuff, a special role and channel in the Discord, and a bunch of other stuff as well, including some really cute emotes and everything. So yeah, if that sounds like fun, check out the little join button next to the subscribe button. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there as well on, you know, in the comments and everything like that. Leave me your suggestions and all of that stuff. But I hope you're all having a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.